The air hung heavy and still. It pressed down on us in the truck. The smell was the worst. Death was everywhere. Bodies surrounded me, stacked like firewood. Men, women, children. Their eyes stared into nothingness. Their skin, dark and leathery, clung to their bones. I was alive, but I felt like a ghost. We had been traveling for days. Across the Sahara, they said. To a better life. The lie tasted bitter in my mouth. The truck rattled and bounced. Each jolt brought fresh pain. My throat was parched, my lips cracked and bleeding. The sun beat down on the metal roof, turning the truck into an oven. I remember the thirst most of all. It was a living thing, gnawing at my insides. We had run out of water days ago. Hope was fading with every drop of moisture from my body. I clung to life, barely. The truck lurched to a stop. A collective groan rippled through the living cargo. Were we there yet? Was this the promised land? The answer came soon enough. It wasn't the answer we had hoped for. The drivers, two men with eyes as hard as the desert stones, barked orders. Their words were harsh, devoid of emotion. We were herded out of the truck like cattle. The bodies, stiff and lifeless, were unloaded first. Mothers first, they said. Their children on top, a final embrace. The sand, hot and fine, shifted under our feet. The sun beat down mercilessly. I watched as they dug shallow graves. The desert would swallow them whole. Their suffering, their dreams, their hopes, all gone, erased. The air crackled with the weight of death. We, the living, stood there, silent witnesses to this macabre ceremony. The drivers worked with an unsettling efficiency. Their faces, weathered and impassive, betrayed no emotion. Were they immune to the horror, or had they simply seen too much? The last body was covered with sand. A small mound, insignificant against the vastness of the desert, marked their final resting place. There were no prayers, no tears, only the relentless heat and the whispering wind. The desert had claimed them. They told us to wait. The drivers, their faces hidden behind sunglasses, promised to return. They needed petrol, they said. They would be back soon. Another lie. We were fools to believe them. The sun began its descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the dunes. The heat, though less intense, was still oppressive. We huddled together, a small group of the living amidst the sea of the dead. Fear gnawed at the edges of my hope. Hours crawled by. The sky turned a deep indigo, then black. The stars, so bright they seemed close enough to touch, mocked us with their indifference. The drivers didn't return. We were alone, stranded, left to die. Despair settled in, heavy and suffocating. We were like sheep without a shepherd, lost and bewildered. The vastness of the desert, once a symbol of freedom, now felt like a prison, a tomb. 2 days. 2 days we waited. 2 days of scorching sun and freezing nights. 2 days of hunger that gnawed at our bellies. 2 days of thirst that cracked our lips and drove us mad. 2 days of watching hope wither and die. We found a scraggly acacia tree. Its meager shade offered little respite from the relentless sun, but we clung to it, a symbol of hope in this desolate landscape. We ate the few leaves we could reach. Their bitterness did little to quench our hunger. The nights were the worst. The temperature plummeted. The wind howled like a banshee. We huddled together for warmth. Our bodies, thin and weak, offered little comfort. Sleep came in snatches, haunted by nightmares of the dead and the dying. On the second day, a decision was made. We would walk towards the setting sun, towards the hope of finding help. It was a desperate gamble, but we had nothing to lose, except our lives. The road stretched endlessly before us, each step heavier than the last. We had lost too much, and the weight of our losses began to take its toll. As the sun beat down, we struggled to stay on our feet. The air was thick with despair, and hope seemed like a distant memory. Every breath was a battle, every heartbeat a reminder of our fragile existence. The journey had claimed many, and we knew it was far from over. Yet we pressed on, driven by the faintest glimmer of survival. In the end, the road would decide our fate. I remember the day vividly. The scorching sun seemed unrelenting, and the sand beneath my feet felt like it was burning through my shoes. But that pain was nothing compared to the emptiness that settled in my heart. My family, gone. In one swift, cruel moment, everything I had known and loved was taken from me. The world felt so much larger and lonelier without them. I was left with nothing but memories and a desperate will to survive. Just when I thought hope was a distant dream, a glimmer appeared in the blinding light. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. That tiny spark of hope kept me moving forward, step by agonizing step. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times there is always a chance for light. I clung to that glimmer, believing that somewhere, somehow, a better future awaited. My grandfather used to tell me stories of resilience and strength. His voice, weathered by time, carried the wisdom of generations. He taught me that no matter how fierce the storm, there is always a way through. His lessons became my guiding star, a beacon in the vast desert of despair. Even though he was no longer with me, his words echoed in my mind, giving me the courage to face each new challenge. Slowly, piece by piece, I began to rebuild my life. It wasn't easy, and there were moments when I doubted if I could ever find happiness again. But with each small victory, I felt a little stronger. I discovered new passions, forged new connections, and found joy in unexpected places. My journey was far from over, but I had come a long way from the desolation I once knew. In the end, I realized that while my past would always be a part of me, it didn't have to define me. I had the power to create a new story, a life remade from the ashes of my old one.